Here with Greg Fields, EG.IdrA, MLG Anaheim, day 2. You had to play 2 tournaments at once. How was that?
Really, really bad idea. I've never experienced like an MLG open day before because I've never had to go all the way through the open bracket. I've heard this horror stories, but those are like starting at 5 p.m. and going till midnight or 1. And yesterday we started around noon and played my last match at 1 a.m. And Illusion played his last match like going till 2.
So high quality games in those.
Oh yeah, and then we show up at 9 a.m. to play our next match this morning. Yeah, I'm completely out of it.
Well, you're still in MLG. Loser bracket. How many rounds do you have to go to get into the championship?
I'm in losers 5. I don't know where the cutoff is. A lot.
And who do you play?
I don't know. They're only in losers 2 now, so they have to play all the way through.
Zerg has been doing pretty well in GSTL. Do you think that's just a product of how the teams are playing, or do you think that there's just Zerg players are just getting better?
Well, part of it's Symbol. Symbol is responsible for like 10 of those wins, and he's just ridiculously good right now. Although he came here and got 2-0'd by 2 Terrans, so anything can happen. But yeah, ZVT I think is a little bit Zerg favored right now. Terrans need to adjust the way they're playing. Mid-game attacks are really, really iffy right now because Zergs are so good at creep spread. They have efficient builds, and Zergs are getting better. I think the proper way to play is head towards late game, play really turtly, and go air-based. Lots of Ravens and Vikings, and even some BCs, and just a little bio for support. Only tanks defensively. A few foreign Terrans have started to switch over to that style. It seems like the best. But yeah, ZVT is kind of iffy. ZVP is still pretty much the same. It's like early game, Immortal All-Ins in particular, pretty hard to hold off. But mid game, Zerg has a pretty solid advantage, and then late game is just the dumbass Vortex versus Broodlord Infestor thing.
And the beta is going to come out soon. So are you going to be playing that while you practice Wings of Liberty? Like, how's it going to work?
I figure I'm going to practice almost entirely Heart of the Swarm, or maybe like 75-25. Obviously, everything's going to switch over to that. Unless they say they're going to have like a year-long beta and we're going to stay on Wings of Liberty for competition for that long, I'll be focusing mostly on Heart of the Swarm. That's the future.
I don't know how soon all the tournaments are going to switch over, but do you think that it's going to allow a lot of players to catch up, or like new players enter the scene, or like the Kesper Pros, all that stuff? You think it's good for you or bad for you that it's a new metagame and everything?
I think I like it. I really don't like the state of some of the current matchups, and so that should change, and that should be good.
You're gonna like that 22 range Protoss unit, right?
It has like 6 or 7 second cooldown, and the Viper looks kind of silly, and I don't know about the Swarm Host, but everything, like all races have silly overpowered stuff right now, and it's all going to get knocked down, so we'll see how that turns out.
A homing Spider Mine?
God, yes.
That hits air and is
it one-shots
splash.
a queen. I don't know. So yeah, there's a lot of silly stuff left in it, but I mean, things will get toned down through balancing once they start having real players play it. As for adjusting the skill levels, it'll definitely help the Kesper players catch up, because like their mechanics are there. They're just lacking behind in experience and like knowledge of strategy and tactics and whatnot.
I asked the GSL Koreans about them, and they're like, Chobos.
They all say that they have for a while. I don't know. Some of them seem like they might be catching up. Some of them seem pretty good, but we'll see at the Kesper tournament here. But yeah, Heart of the Swarm will definitely help them out. As for foreigners versus Koreans, it'll level the playing field a little bit, but Koreans will pull ahead again pretty quickly.
So, you seem like you're in pretty good spirits.
I'm much better at accepting losses when I just played bad, and I got like 2-3 hours of sleep last night, so I'm just completely exhausted. And at least I got top 4 at WCS, so I'm just like, yeah, there's not much to do with it. Like having 2 tournaments in one weekend, especially when one tournament, MLG is already a really tough schedule to play through for the open bracket. It's a bad idea. They shouldn't have done it. It's hard.
Well, they're going to do it again, probably.
Yeah, it's going to be really bad. I don't know. I don't think I can skip an MLG. I think MLG is too big for me to not play. But if I had
in groups.
Yeah, I guess so. But if I had the option, I would just not play MLG and focus on the WCS or something.
Well, Tyler
it's
did
just
that.
too much. Yeah, that would be the smart choice.
So, what have you been doing outside? Outside StarCraft. You guys been hanging out at the EG house? What have you been doing?
We had a lot of extra people in the house recently. Thorzane recently joined the team, and he's been staying in the house. He's off to Korea after this. But he's been in the house. Stefano's been in the house most of the time. Huck as well. So we had a packed house. Just
a pretty high-level house.
No, it was pretty nice. Like turning around and watching Stefano play between my games was nice. I learned quite a bit just watching him. He's a terrible teacher because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's purely instinctual, or he's just bullshitting everyone. Yeah.
Oh.
No, watching him play, like he makes decisions. They're always correct, and he reads things that he doesn't see. Like, he never ever scouts. He gets flack for that, but he always knows what's coming in. I don't understand it. Like, you can't learn anything from talking to him, but watching him, it helps out quite a bit.
What the?
Seriously.
Well, he might join your team, right?
No, his contract's up in August. We have not talked to him officially at all. He's friends with a lot of us. He's a great player. Any team would be happy to have him, but there's no negotiations
That's
going
a
on.
PC answer. Come on.
There's no
you guys
negotiations
are gonna,
going on. There's nothing else to say.
He's gonna. Okay. All right. I'll play it that way. That's fine.
Nothing official.
All right. But did you play him in ZVZ?
He hates ZVZ, and ZVZ is a really dumb matchup. We played 4 games on the ladder. I lost 1-3. But one game he did a Ling Bane Ling Bust, which doesn't work anymore, so I didn't expect it.
Oh, and you played Spades this time. He was here.
Yeah, that was fun. It turns out the game's a lot harder when you can't see the whole map. So yeah, the first game I danced Ultralisk, and the second one I popped up like 12 Nidus Worms in his base at the same time. It was a fun match.
Spades aside, how do you feel about how Blizzard's treating hacking, and what's your opinions about people that do that?
Well, obviously, they're cheaters. They're destroying. It's a legitimate competition. A lot of us make a living off of it. So to cheat in something like that is just fucking horrendous. And yeah, the community needs to be a lot harder on people like that. And the Brood War community was incredibly forgiving of hackers and cheaters and whatnot.
Not everyone was forgiving.
Pretty forgiving.
We weren't that forgiving.
Yeah, that was towards the end, though. How many times did Testy hack and come back, and everyone else? And Testy was respected as a legitimate member. He was good, but he hacked over and over and over. So yeah, people need to be really, really much more hard on that. And as for Blizzard,
you guys used to think Sheth hacked though.
You
and Artosis.
I don't know. He had weird games.
Come on.
He had weird fucking game
Sheth.
sense in StarCraft 1. Yeah, people change. That was back when he was a lot younger. I don't know. He played weird. But
you still think that Sheth?
I think it's possible. He played really weird.
You put on your tinfoil hat.
He played weird. But Blizzard bans in waves, so we'll see. Maybe the next wave is going to entirely clean out the ladder, and everyone will go. And in that case, they'll be competent because they held everything back and they caught everyone they could.
That guy that had used the blink hack that was here, I think that he just didn't show up. But I think Blizzard told him not to come.
Sack?
Yeah.
Could be.
But Spades, I think since it wasn't it was 99%,
yeah.
It wasn't 100%, so they couldn't just be no.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, if they ban everyone, then that's awesome. But if not, then that has to be their responsibility because they're not allowing third-party programs. They're not allowing us to moderate the community or the ladder or anything because they're being so strict about what we do with it. So that means that they have to be incredibly on top of that. And if they don't ban a bunch of hackers in the next wave, and if they're not much more on top of it in the future, then yeah, they're failing.
Have you ever played a game with map hack? Just
No.
to see what it's like?
No.
I have.
I don't even know what the StarCraft 2 ones do, but I've heard it's ridiculous. They have auto micro hacks and they have production tabs and all that.
I have in Brood War just to see what it looks like, and you can't right. You can't focus on anything else because if you're not used to it, you're just watching everything, and then your minerals go up to 3,000. But
it seems like it would actually be a really good way to learn. I know a lot of the StarCraft 1 pros use them in practice games because it makes it incredibly, you can see everything that's happening, and so you line that up with stuff that's happening in your build or in StarCraft 2 with the clock, and it's a much easier way to learn timings and whatnot because the only other way to do that is just have your opponent tell you, okay, I'm building a robo now, my immortal started.
Or them give you vision,
yeah.
I guess.
Well, you can't do that in StarCraft 2.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I hope you get a chance to try out Heart of the Swarm. Maybe not today because that means you'd still be in, but tomorrow maybe, and then we get your review of it.
I already watched that game up on stage.
Uh-huh.
That looked, like I said, everything's overpowered and silly. But that's kind of the way they started out with Wings of Liberty, and then they just tone everything down, which kind of makes it more boring. StarCraft 1 was cool because everything had hard counters and everything just destroyed everything. If you run a pack of goons into a few siege tanks, and they get obliterated. But if you have some zealots in there and you spread it out, you control properly, or it's good to have super powerful stuff and just balance it by giving the other races super powerful stuff and then having ways to work
Dark
around
Swarm.
it. Yeah,
I love Dark Swarm.
Yeah, Dark Swarm and Plague were fucking ridiculous, but they made for really awesome games. It was exciting because Irradiate and Siege Tanks and Marines were also ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. They ended up playing it too safe with Wings of Liberty. They toned everything down too much. There's other problems with the game as well, so that all interferes with it. But I kind of hope they keep it a bit more powerful and just try and find ways to make that work.
There's a new creep tumor animation.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what's it do?
Little tentacle comes out and it goes and spawns it. It takes a split second longer, but it looks cool.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Well, go and try it, and good luck in the open bracket. Oh yeah. Got any shout outs?
Team, EG, all our sponsors, Intel, SteelSeries, Monster, Kingston HyperX, Beyond Gaming, and Sapphire. Everyone else on EvilGeniuses.net and all our content and stuff. And
You
thank
guys
you.
got new book bags.
Yeah, we got new backpacks from Slappa. They say Evil Geniuses on them. This is just the first copy. We're gonna have much more EG branded ones with colors and logos and all that stuff. I think that those are eventually going to be for sale for fans and stuff. And then we also have more of like a satchel, like man purse kind of thing coming out that you guys can also buy.
You call it a man purse?
EG man purse. Yeah.
Does it have? You should have a lining around it that looks like the chin strap beard.
Maybe we do. I haven't seen the merch yet, so I don't know.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks for the interview and good luck.
Thank you.